What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of our show. Today is Friday, obviously. Uh Episode's going up a little later than it has been the past couple weeks for you super fans. But we get nonetheless, we have some things to talk about as in the penultimate episode of Loki. Um we've got another trailer for a Marvel animated Disney Plus show. We've got a new Matthew Vaughn movie, um, and etc. More. So much more that it's not even enough for me to be able to talk about this by myself. I have to have someone else with me. Isn't that right?
That is correct, Declan. This
Mhm.
is co-host Evan Blackwell,
Mhm.
the latter half of Save Entertainment.
Mhm.
You're the save,
Right.
I'm the entertainment.
You are the entertainment. Yeah, I mean,
We got some
one of
seg.
us has to be. Yeah. We're both it was unplanned that we were both going to wear band shirts today, but this is our official endorsement of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
Um, they're the official music sponsors of the show. Um, if there was ever any doubt that there were any. All right, so you want to talk about episode numero cinco of Loki?
Yes. I would like to talk about episode numero cinco of
Well,
Loki.
that's pretty funny because I would like to talk about it as well.
Numero cinq, as the French would say.
Oh, okay.
Numero five, as Canadians would say.
Hmm. How would English or like Americans? How would they say?
An English person, he would say like number five
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Okay.
An American would, say it as I'm saying it now.
Right.
Number five
Yeah.
episode. What's the title of this one called?
I'm not even sure to be honest.
It's
Um,
Crocodile Loki.
it's yeah. Um, we
This
have
is
an
the
announcement to
action
make
episode,
though.
really.
What was that?
This is like the action episode.
Yeah, there's probably the most action in this one. Besides like episode 2, I would say. Um, we have an announcement to make. We don't like this show because Tom Hiddleston and everyone except Owen Wilson is pretty much British.
True.
Mhm.
That's one of the factors why I don't like this show.
Um,
Owen Wilson is American enough to make up for both of them because he's from
right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
he's from the great state of Texas, where I originate and where I currently am in.
Uh-huh.
You can hear the pitter patter of rain in the background. It's because
Mm.
this is a very Texan summer. But he's American enough to kind of counterbalance the rest of it.
Sure. This was like we said, the penultimate episode. The last episode ended with spoiler warning, by the way, if you haven't watched Loki or you haven't watched the latest episode, uh Loki gets sent into another dimension. We later learn Owen Wilson is also there, but they drag that out to reveal it until about halfway into the episode because if for some reason you thought Owen Wilson was actually dead, uh, so they could surprise the dumb viewers. I'm sorry, that was mean.
I mean, we
Um,
kind of just like this is another, Save Entertainment prediction that has come true.
yeah,
That this would obviously, Owen Wilson had to have been coming back. If they killed off Loki there, he's not going to be dead.
right.
Which again, this is another like end game thing where it would be so much cooler if they left him dead. So much cooler.
It would be actually very surprising because it's almost like the whole thing with like Black Widow coming out and stuff like that is like you never expect any of the main heroes to actually die. in Avengers Endgame, they kind of had to kill some of them off because the contracts were running out. Um, but then they choose to make a Black Widow movie, and it's like, okay, but
They're
does this?
contractually obligated one movie each.
Yeah, I'm glad she's finally getting a movie, but like,
She's
how do
dead.
you make us care about this movie? We know there's no stakes. The character died.
See, like, obviously it's possible to make, a story about a doomed character.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's possible for Marvel to do that. I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah.
possible. I feel like there is inherent in a lot of these movies a lack of like earnestness, where a lot of these movies are means to an end. They're sort of filling you in so that you know what's going on in the next one.
Yeah.
And when we already know what goes on after this, I really see very little about these movies are always, like a passageway between two other stories.
Mm,
That's how they always feel. And so, in these shows included,
yeah.
and this episode definitely.
Yeah, this episode, I liked I thought some of the action was cool. I thought some of the other Loki variants were kind of cool. We get a lot of them. There's an older Loki, there's a boastful Loki, they call him, and there's a crocodile Loki, and we also get a president Loki.
Mm,
But
so
I don't
many.
know. The only one that real and a kid Loki. The only one that really adds anything is the older Loki. The other ones are kind of all there for a comedic
Comedic relief,
effect when Owen Wilson's not in the show.
or like to be a threat, to be the muscle.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm just not. This show doesn't have me interested really. Um,
The whole idea of there being like tons of Lokis is interesting, and it's weird that they wait until the second to last episode to really use that.
sure.
Even then, once we've got all of them, there's not much interesting that they do.
That's a good point. If they introduced them earlier, I wonder if they could have actually made them supporting characters in the show, not just a one episode kind of, cameo or appearance. Cuz if you watch the end of the episode, and we'll go back towards more at the beginning, I'm sure, but um none of these Lokis are probably going to be in the next episode. Besides the one we've been following and Sylvie, the female one. So it's kind of like,
Much ado about nothing, really.
yeah, it's this episode's kind of just a whole lot of nothing. They have to beat this big monster in the sky there has to be a big, CGI battle in every one of these.
This is such, yeah. In the same way, I say like all these movies are just sort of like passageways between two other projects. This one felt that the most. And disappointing because I thought that the last episode was surprisingly better,
Yeah.
surprisingly good. And this one really reversed that for me. It's just a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of like teasing and fan service. It's pure teasing
Yes.
and fan service and nothing, not too much else in and of itself.
Yeah, I'm sure that people who actually really like Marvel will still like this no matter what, but I do like most of the stuff Marvel does put out. A couple of I mean, these shows haven't been, they've held my interest from time to time, but I've never been like, besides the premieres maybe, or for a couple episodes, I've never been like, get me to the next episode. Like WandaVision, I feel like was the only one I was really kind of like that because it was more mysterious and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
first half of WandaVision, I was like, okay, I want to see where this is going.
mhm.
And then, as I mentioned, back when we were talking about WandaVision, that one episode comes where they're like, all right, this is everything that's been happening so far. And it really kills a lot of that.
Yeah.
And once again, we see that here. The last episode I thought was interesting because it surprised me. I was like, okay, well, if they commit to this, then that's really cool. Maybe that's asking too much, but we're right
Yeah.
back to the start.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, where they're gonna go next week. Like, they have to, they find this, like, kinda place at the end once they beat this big monster, and it's Loki and Sylvie and Owen Wilson headed back to the TVA. I just don't necessarily care about the villains in this either. The one female character who, kind of, like, banished Loki and, Owen Wilson and all that. It's just I thought this show had the most potential out of all the Marvel shows because they could have got weird, and they did for like a couple seconds, and it really just it's just like you've said, a whole lot of nothing in my opinion, and
A whole lot of whipped cream.
I just don't care. Like I don't yeah, like I don't think these characters are going to matter moving forward either.
I defy you to show me any person who was watching this and thought, wow, can't wait for next week. Can't wait to see what comes next. I
Mhm.
mean, I would say it's worth it just for the Richard E. Grant Loki because he's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But when they give him something to do, he's interesting, which he doesn't for a lot. He's just kind of like sitting there, cracking wise a little bit. At the end, he does a little bit of X-Men hand twirling and he makes like a town appear.
Yeah.
But really, this is very skippable. It's a very skippable episode.
I also feel like maybe this is just nitpicking, but like those couple Lokis have seemingly been like hit out on this, in this uh a kind of like post-apocalyptic land for a little bit, and and once this Loki comes, all of a sudden they kind of figure out how to get out of this. I feel like they could have I don't know if they've been there for so long, couldn't they have figured that out sooner? But, I guess that's just you know, you could do that all day with anything Marvel probably.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of, like I said, a whole lot of nothing. Skip
Yeah.
this one is our recommendation.
Yeah. I hope next week is better. I
Read
hope
the Go on AV Club, read the synopsis. They'll give you a good recap,
yeah.
and that's about all we can say.
Yeah, I hope like next week proves us wrong and they were saving a lot of it for the finale cuz the show's not over yet. So although I do have a lot of, you know, gripes I guess with it now, if they have a really good finale, maybe I'll be eating my words on this show next week, but I don't think I will be, to be honest.
I really don't. These
Yeah.
episodes get hollower and hollower.
Yeah, it's like you keep waiting. I feel like episode 3 was the point where I was kind of just like, what are we doing here? And then the week after that, it was like, okay, some promise. And then this week, it was kind of just like, back to what are we doing?
Episodes 1 and 4 are really the only really good ones,
Mm,
which is unfortunate because I really liked not episode 1 and 4, really just episode 4, to be
yeah, yeah,
episodes 1, 2, and 3, I thought interesting because of Owen Wilson, but not much else beyond that. It was funny because of the Owen Wilson bits, and some of the little plot digressions were entertaining.
yeah,
But outside of that main frame, there's very little interesting going on.
yeah. And I
And
don't know.
here we're right back at square one.
I feel like Marvel's kind of, maybe taking these risks and letting their creators do more of what they want, but I feel like they should reel it back in a little bit because I'm not so interested. Maybe it's just the shows. Maybe the movies that are coming out later this year are gonna prove me wrong. Which, by the looks of some of them, I think they might. Maybe not like Black Widow, but I'm excited to see where those go. At least if the series can't you know build upon any interest to see more.
Yeah, I think this really, I feel like this, you look at people's reactions to the online, and it seems to, again, be very confounding for a lot of people.
Mhm.
I don't see why people are confused by it. It feels very straightforward. It feels a little too straightforward to me. Like it raises, it's clear that the idea of this show is intended to be way deeper and more philosophical than I think it has any interest in actually exploring,
Yeah,
which works really greatly to the show's detriment. And
yeah,
also, it just doesn't stay on anything long enough to really dive deeper into it.
yeah.
And everything that it does stay on feels like it was done better in something else.
Mm, yeah,
That's, I think, the main problem with this show,
yeah,
especially for 6 episodes. You want to make it this big, sprawling epic, sure, but there has to be like a point, and there's not one right now.
yeah. I agree. So Loki, until they bring in a non-British Loki, consider me disinterested. That's my take.
They're gonna cast you as non-British Loki. Are you free
I'll be
tomorrow?
Pennsylvania Loki.
Pennsylvania Loki,
Mm.
Amish Loki.
I'd have the most power probably.
You have the power of Wawa.
I have the power of Wawa. I have the power of
Mark.
our founding fathers helped create our country here,
What else does Pennsylvania have? You have the power of cream cheese,
right?
freshly churned butter,
Philly pretzels,
cheesesteaks,
cheesesteaks. I'll blast all these things right at the monster in the sky I have to fight.
Boston Loki is going to be the next episode.
Boston Loki, yes, with
Hey Thanos, you want to go at it right now?
played by Ben Affleck. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we bring Ben Affleck into the MCU is by
yeah. He can't
Boston.
play Batman anymore. That's why.
They should do a Batman where like it has Ben Affleck, but like Gotham is Boston.
Yeah,
It's just like actual Boston.
that'd be good.
The Joker is from Boston, like Two-Face is from Boston.
Yeah,
Robin goes to Boston University.
Boston University, and then Batman's at like Boston College or something.
Well, Batman, he's old money, so he's at, of
Right. He's
course.
Harvard, probably. Probably. We don't know.
How can a town with such, fine cultural arts scene produce so many like cultural nadirs?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so there was another trailer for this one's an animated Marvel series. I'll talk about it for like 2 seconds. It's called What If. It's basically these situations that Marvel creates. The first one I saw was probably one of the dumber ones. I get it that it's called What If, and that's the whole point of the show. Let me just say this. But one of the first ones they show is like Tony Stark when he gets in the first 5 minutes of the first Iron Man movie when he gets like blasted out of the truck he's in, and he sees like his own bomb like blow up and all that. Um, it's like Killmonger, the villain of Black Panther, saves him, and it's like that makes no sense. He's a villain. Why would he save? And why is he saving Iron Man? Again, I get it's called
What
What
if?
If.
What if he was a villain and he saved Iron Man? What if Killmonger was good in this universe?
Yeah, but I don't know. It just kind of I didn't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't I was like, no, this is stupid. I don't know. Again, I could choose to not watch it, so
No, this is stupid.
It was. I was just like, huh.
Uh,
Anyway, if you want to watch that, go ahead. I might watch like a couple episodes. I don't know if I'll watch like anything but the episodes like that sound kind of cool to me. Like there's some with Spider-Man. I think there's one with like Black Panther as Star Lord, which Chadwick Boseman does the voice. I'll probably watch that one. Um, but yeah, it's kind of just like again, what if?
what if?
We should do
Marvel
what if. We should
Studios.
make a what if series, but like just I don't know, what if Leonardo DiCaprio like was never famous? Who would be the Wolf of Wall Street?
I thought you meant like, what if Leonardo DiCaprio is never famous, and so like you're just in LA,
Yeah,
and like your tennis coach is Leonardo DiCaprio.
right.
Leonardo DiCaprio is bagging groceries at the local store.
Hmm. Yeah, and then you're like, "Hey, Leonardo," and he's like, "How do you know my name?" It's like, "I know who you were supposed to become."
Yeah, that's the variant Leonardo.
Variantly, yeah, the British Leonardo, who probably isn't a good actor because he's British and gets rejected from things.
Yeah, he wasn't
Um,
to play Jack in Titanic, so his career just kind of went worse and worse and worse.
Leonardo, he was replaced in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with
Battle.
Richard E. Grant.
Oh, Richard E. Grant
Yeah.
with an old British guy.
Yes. Could you imagine Once Upon a Time in Hollywood if it was like uh just like just like old unattractive people? Just
Hey,
like the
Richard E.
opposite of
Grant is
what.
still such a catch, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's great in With Nail and I.
Mhm.
It's a
I've
great film,
never seen it, but I trust your judgment.
and he's a good actor. He's wasted in that show.
Wasted as in he was drinking behind the scenes.
Well, I can't say for that.
Exactly. That's why I asked the
Potential
question.
spoiled. I mean,
Yeah. We can't answer on his behalf.
we can't slander Richard E. Grant on this podcast.
No. He's a
Why?
potential future guest.
Right.
Um, I want to talk about Matthew Vaughn's new movie. It's I saw this tweeted yesterday. It was tweeted the cast. I have it here. One second. It includes it's a spy thriller called Argyll, I believe, Argylle.
Oh,
The cast includes Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, Samuel Jackson, John Cena, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, and Dua Lipa making her acting debut.
neat.
Um, I'm a big Matthew Vaughn fan. I love the Kingsman movies. X-Men First Class is my favorite X-Men movie. The cast for this sounds pretty awesome. Just saw John Cena do a bit of a spy thriller role in F9 Fast Saga. Um, and I like Sam Rockwell. I
Your
like
voice got higher for a second there.
it did. My microphone went out. I apologize. Um, I like
So
Henry
you inhaled a
Cavill.
bit of helium.
What was that?
So you inhaled a bit of helium.
I did. Yeah, I saw that's you could have seen that if you were watching the video, not listening. But I like Samuel Jackson. This sounds like a grand old time to me.
Samuel, this has a good cast. I'm
Mhm.
I'm excited to see. Dua Lipa's coming to acting.
Yeah, that should
Quite
be
enjoyed the last album. I'm not ashamed to say it. Future Nostalgia, great album.
good album. I've listened to some of the
Good album.
songs and I know they're very good.
Break My Heart,
Mhm.
amazing song.
Okay. Yeah. This
Some neo stuff.
Matthew Vaughn also directed the latest Kingsman movie that's coming out. Didn't know
So is this supposed to be
The King's
Argyle, like
Man, the
what?
Argyle. What was that?
Is it supposed to be Argyle, like the sweater? It's got two L's, I see.
I'll read the here's the description. A best-selling spy novelist who turns out to be a world-class spy suffering from amnesia. This is Bryce Dallas Howard, I guess. When her past comes back to haunt her, so does her memory. Interesting.
That's like the perfect, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like if I say it, it'll make sense. That's such like an airport novel premise. I love it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's pure like Dean Koontz novel material,
Hmm.
which sounds great. Like that sounds
Yeah.
like it'll be a great film.
Yeah, I again, Matthew Vaughn is like he's like one of the kings. I'm trying to think who else is, but he's just good at like fun action scenes. He
I think
makes
him,
them.
Guy Ritchie.
Yes, yes, that's who I was thinking of. He knows how to like make an action scene really absurd, but also fun at the same time. Like the Kingsman movies. The famous first scene in the first movie where Colin Firth kills all those people in that church in the South, and to Free Bird and X-Men First Class. I think of like that final battle on the beach where there's like all these missiles and magnetos, like
In
it's
a
just
world where action is like one of the biggest genres now, if not the biggest, I feel like you look at the top 10 movies of every year and it's all, if not like 80% action films.
Mhm.
Really good, fun, exciting action sequences are kind of few and far between. I think Kingsman had one of the best.
Yes.
Um, who else? I think Steven Soderbergh and Brian De Palma can both do a good action scene when
Sure.
Ocean's 11 has got all those heist bits, which
Yeah.
are fun.
Heists are always
Right.
good.
Brian De Palma in the first Mission Impossible. It's the best way I think to do action.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this.
I think I like Matthew Vaughn for the same reason I really like the Fast and Furious movies. It's just like Matthew Vaughn movies aren't as much turn your brain off. It's more like somewhat realistic action, but it's just like fun and it knows it is and he knows how to do it and he knows how to make the audience entertained. And that's yeah, anything he does I'll watch and I still have to watch some of his other movies, but yeah, from what I've seen of him, I have all the reason to be excited for this and the future Kingsman movie too, The King's Man, which is a prequel. I'm excited to see how he does the action in that because it's a more like I think it's
It said
kind
like
of
1910, right?
yeah 1900s kind of. So I'll be interested to see obviously how they do like if they have new technology introduced and stuff like that.
I would love like an action scene like set on like the Wright brothers' first like propeller
Yeah.
plane.
This is the first flying vehicle.
And it's like really slow. It's really slow, like flying, and there's punching on it.
Yeah. Um,
They get in a car chase where both cars are moving at like 15 miles per hour.
yeah. Floor it. Goes 5 miles per hour faster. Yeah,
That guy's doing
that's
30 in the middle of this crowded city.
blimey. Are you mad?
You could have broken my leg if I hadn't got out with plenty of time to spare because of
You
how loud the cars are.
you're over the bloody speed limit.
Could you imagine like an action sequence where like that has like the Aruga like car horn going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out of the
Uh,
way! You should have like the big glasses and like a scarf flying behind him.
steampunk attire, a monocle.
It's a steampunk thing. He's got like a big giant. It's just like a giant wheel with a bunch of gears and like puffing steam out the back.
Yeah. The villain better have a monocle in this movie.
You should have like a big top hat and a monocle and a big curly mustache.
Yeah. Let me look at the cast for the Kingsman. Oh, we've got Harris Dickinson. I've never heard of him. We have
Hmm.
Ray Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I didn't know that. Gemma at Arterton.
Gemma Arterton.
Yes. Tom Holland. Not Tom Holland. You thought. Um,
Oh man,
Matthew
Tom
Good.
Lander's in this.
Who? Yeah, Tom Hollander.
I don't know if that's his name. I just made that up.
I don't know. I think he's a knockoff Tom Holland, to be honest, even though he looks a lot older than him. Oh, he is. Um,
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, yes, and Daniel Bruhl, who is of course Zemo, the Avengers. The Kingsman. I need to stop the Kingsman.
So I
He made
guess
my family die in Sokovia.
maybe Ray Fiennes is the Duke and Aaron Taylor Johnson is the Duke's man.
Yes. How do you say
I hope Stanley Tucci has like a top hat and
yeah.
maybe he's like the
He
American
should
bad,
have the big glasses for sure.
maybe he's like the American bad guy, you know. He comes in and
Sure.
he's like Harold Ford and he's like, I
Like
with my
Channing
Nazi
Tatum in the
technology.
yeah, like Channing Tatum in the first or the second Kingsman movie. How do you say this actor's name? He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in the first one, and he's in Captain Marvel too. Among other things. Oh, he's in the Fast and Furious movies too. I knew that. Here's his picture. You probably recognize him if you can't see. Not you. I think it's like Jimon.
Oh, Jimon Hansu.
Yes, Jimon Hansu. He's very good in everything I've seen him in, so I'm excited he's in this. Um, but I'm very excited for Baron Zemo to take down the Kingsman.
Maybe the whole maybe the drama of that one is just like World War One.
Hmm.
Like the Kingsman gets like, you know, this thing. You gotta assassinate Franz Ferdinand. Blame that guy, Gavrilo Princip. You
Hmm.
gotta blame him. You gotta put the gun in his pocket.
I hope it's like I hope the um I hope the action sequence is like so not complicated, but they may make it over complicated, like they're using a gun for the first time or something.
Well, I think guns had
Guns are probably
around
around for a little bit.
for at least like hundreds of years before 1910.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Alexander Hamilton got shot like 100 years before that.
Hmm. This is set to come out around Christmas, so I'll definitely be seeing it along with. Maybe I'll do a double feature with that and Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah. Do you want to talk about Chris Stuckman writing a movie?
Well, you know, Chris Stuckman really isn't my expertise too much, but you know, as a
You're
fellow,
not Stuckmanized?
I've not been Stuckmanized. No,
Okay,
Stuckmanized is the last thing you hear right before you die.
probably.
Getting Stuckmanized means you're getting a extensive colonoscopy.
Mm,
But as a fellow, you know, YouTube movie person, albeit one with, you know, 1/100,000th his base, I'd say this is good news for us all.
sure.
He's writing like a horror film. Now, I will say, I did see his fake script for Batman vs. Superman, and that does not instill with me a lot of hope. But alas,
Chris
uh,
Stuckman, he's probably my second favorite movie reviewer on YouTube.
Was number one me?
Number one would go to Jeremy Johns.
Oh,
I've been watching him for many years, and I always like him. Nothing against Chris Stuckman. I like him a lot too. I just watch him much less. I usually watch all of Jeremy John's reviews, but I like Chris Stuckman. I didn't read the said Batman versus Superman rewrite.
it's
That I'm.
actually really great. See, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's great in a way that I kind of want to see in a movie.
Yeah. If anything though, even if he's a bad writer, I think it's kind of cool to see someone who, I don't know if his dream has been to make his own movies. I know he obviously likes them, but it's cool to see, someone like that who is kind of on the other side of it as far as being a fan, get able to get the opportunity to do something on his own, even if it stinks. But I'm sure he'll put some time and energy into it because, like I said, he's a fan of cinema.
It's a horror movie too, so we can say
Mhm.
it'll be the most YouTube review proof horror movie in ages.
Do you think he'll review his own movie?
I give this a C plus. Boom.
That'd be
At the end
funny.
of the movie, a person gets Stuckmanized,
Yeah,
meaning their skeleton gets pulled out of their body while they're still alive.
right. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting at least.
Eh.
That's all I gotta say, really. Because something I'm a fan of
If they
is
let
this.
Rich Evans write and direct his own movie, Rich Evans of Red Letter Media, then
Uh-huh.
we'll be very much at peace. If he gets to write and direct the next Conjuring film,
Yeah,
then I will say this has been a positive turn.
a success.
Yes.
Um, oops, that was a loud noise. I want to see. I want to see Chris Stuckman write the next Joker movie.
Why does Chris Stuckman be the next Joker,
He
actually?
could be the next Joker, yeah. I mean, we are gonna have multiple in the next one, probably.
Joker's
Jokers. What if there's like Joker variants? Like there's an old Joker and like like Jack Nicholson comes back.
Jack Nicholson comes back as Joker, but he's
Yeah,
just really like he's in a chair the whole
he's in the
movie.
Joker chair.
He's sitting in the Joker chair.
He's got
Everything
a
he does
couple
is
cigars.
Joker-fied.
Yeah, Joker variants.
Old Batman for
Hmm.
the Flash, then they can bring in really old Joker for
Sure,
Jokers.
they're just not trying hard enough if they don't.
I agree with that. But
Um, Jokers. But the S is the two. Um,
yeah,
I'm
it's Jokers, and then the S like spins around like
yes,
the
yeah.
back turns into a two.
It's like a really bad, like, Microsoft PowerPoint, like, animation too.
Yeah, it's written in that like grid. It's got that grid going back in like green. Then
Mhm.
Joker appears in like bad block letters and the S.
Comic Sans.
Yeah, in Comic Sans.
Joker. Zzz.
Jokers with a Z.
Yeah. My favorite Joker variant would be the one that's, like, punk rock Joker.
Punk Joker.
Yeah,
So
like, he makes, like, that kind of music.
oh. So he's gonna be in a horrible scandal, right?
He could be.
Have there been
I
any
mean, he'd look like the Jared Leto Joker.
of course. Well, the Jared Leto Joker is sadly this universe. It would really suck if like our universe's Joker was the Jared Leto one. That'd be so sad.
I mean, I think it would represent us fairly, though.
Yeah. He's like the runt of the Jokers.
Yeah.
He's the runt of the litter. Poor Jared Leto. He tried hard.
Excuse me, I yawned.
Oh no.
Um, if I seem tired, it's because I was up late watching my Big Brother. If anyone's a fan of that show that listens to this and wants me to talk about it, be more than happy to. I love reality type game shows like Survivor and Big Brother. So just let me know. I should get Evan into them. I mean, the season just started.
I haven't seen Big Brother, but Big Brother has watched me, so
Is that right?
it is. Yeah.
Um, yeah. If you ever want me to, I'd be more than happy to explain it to you and let you use my Paramount Plus account.
Is that where Big Brother is streaming?
It is, yes.
Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Any of the other ones on there too?
Survivor's on there.
Hmm.
That's what I use it for. And iCarly. That's where I've been watching the iCarly episodes.
See, bin watching is what inspires concern in me.
Really.
Have you continued since?
I have, yeah, it's actually not bad.
I remember I saw there's controversy around it, right?
Really.
I don't know. On Twitter, I saw something about it.
Hmm. I mean, controversy on Twitter is like,
That's true. It's kind of all controversy.
yeah. Um, I they had Neville in the latest episode.
Really?
Yes. So
Neville
interesting.
Neville's return.
Mm-hmm. Get Nevilled.
Nevi.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know. It's not as good as the original.
You become so sheepish now, being
I
asked.
have. Did you watch anything fun this week that you would like to talk about?
Uh, anything fun? Anything fun? Well, I did watch the film Purple Noon
Mm-hmm.
by Renee Clement, I believe. If you guys have seen, some of you, I'm sure the audience are familiar with the American remake, The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh
But
yeah, I've heard of that. Matt
yeah,
Damon.
Matthew Damon. I feel like I watched this before last week. I don't know if I mentioned that. I watched the original version of The Ring again,
Okay.
and that was fun.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good.
Um, I watched Fast and Furious. Where was I as far as the Fast and Furious movies last week? Did I watch the first
Still
two
have-
only?
You had the first two. I think you still had about four to go last week.
Okay, so I watched Tokyo Drift, 4 Fast, which is just called Fast and Furious. It's either
Fast and Furious.
I think no, I think it's Fast and the Furious. The first one's called the Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
So yeah, but like you had suggested last week, I would have liked it more if it was Fast and Furious or Furious.
yes, I would.
That one's probably the worst one, the fourth one. Not to say it's
Yeah, because they didn't
bad.
get that title.
Yeah, but I mean, probably the best one I've seen so far, Fast 5. This introduces Dwayne. Some would know him as The Rock Johnson. Um, I just know him as Dwayne because we're on a first name basis. But
Right.
he's a great addition. Um, this movie has nonstop action, and they take more of a turn into the kind of heist movies and stuff like that in this one. So it was entertaining the whole way. It's the longest one so far. I enjoyed it very
So
much. You can
what's the
see
one
my
where it switches from like pure action to like action comedy? Where does the
yeah.
change really
There's a lot of action in the first three, but it's more racing action.
come?
So this is more combat action, and I think that's where they've lived there now for the past couple movies, and I think it's the racing and the cars they're still involved.
Well, when does it become a bit more comedic? I mean,
More comedic, I would say. I mean, the fifth one, this one has like Ludacris and Tyrese back. They're certainly
right.
like comedic relief, especially when they're together. They're not in the fourth one or third one. So yeah, I would say 5 is really like a very significant turn. Uh, no pun intended, because get it, turn, they like drive cars.
I'll allow it,
It's
but
a
you're
bit of
up
a
to no.
stretch. Yeah, go watch Fast and Furious if you haven't. That's what I say. There are like 3 of them are on Peacock. That's how I've been watching them. And the first 2
On
are on
HBO
HBO
Max as
Max.
well. Right.
First 2 on HBO Max, 3, 4, and 5 on Peacock. I need to find 6 and 7 somewhere,
All are free online somewhere.
potentially.
Of course, we would never endorse,
Never.
legal things in
No.
case any studios are watching this and are
No.
looking for hires.
No, we don't endorse that here. We're good, law-abiding citizens.
We're always happy to shill people.
Right.
I have no shame.
No. Do you wanna read some reviews?
Of course. Our favorite part of the episode.
Mhm.
The letterboxed review readings.
Right.
You should start.
I should start?
If you'd like to. I feel like I started last time,
I'd
man.
like to, sure, why not? This is a one-star review for, Black Widow from Day Ren. Um, and this says, God, Marvel sucks. However, to the girl in front of me who cried when the Marvel logo came up, I'm happy for you. Started off a little mean, progressed into being a nicer review at the end there. Not
Right.
as far as the movie, though.
Are there that many people who are crying at the Marvel logo when they see it?
Well, I mean, if it's like a little girl, which is what I think is like what's
Uh,
implicated here.
I heard that. I kind of assumed that they
Actually,
meant
it just says girl, so I shouldn't assume.
it's saying it said to the girl in front of me. I didn't know if it meant like child girl or if it meant like adult
I
who
don't know. Either way, some tears were shed.
yeah. I feel like I see the Marvel logo all the time
I see it
on
a lot. Yeah,
t-shirts and lunch boxes.
yeah.
I guess I don't look at a lot of lunch boxes on t-shirts and billboards and all that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of places.
It won't leave me alone.
No.
And my first review comes for Clifford the Big Red Dog,
Mm.
to be released this year.
Hmm.
Reese says, I'm so relieved he's getting his own standalone movie because Clifford would absolutely wreck both Kong and Godzilla. No sweat. Some kaiju have no need for competition.
Hey,
I want your opinion on this. Now, Clifford is a great deal smaller than both.
do you think so? He looks pretty sizable in the trailer.
He's big enough to fit inside. He's small enough, though, to fit inside a house, with
Sure.
Godzilla and King Kong both massively, you know, outsize houses.
Well, riddle me this. Neither Godzilla or King Kong have big in their name. Clifford is the big red dog.
That's true. Clifford is the biggest and probably the reddest dog out there.
Right. I think I think if these now are we talking like one-on-one fights or if 1v1v1 here?
I think it's 1v1v1.
Okay. I think what Clifford has going for him is he's not the immediate target. He's he's red, obviously. I think that works to an advantage. Bit of
Hmm.
a distraction, to be honest. Um,
So that doesn't leave out the possibility of the other two teaming up to destroy him.
that could be true. Clifford could be more powerful than we know. Again, we haven't seen the movie. Um,
These movies always end with people teaming up to fight, a bigger kaiju.
yeah. What if it's like a blue dog that they have to fight? Like Blue from Blue's Clues.
They have to fight Blue.
Or
They
Steve.
have to fight a giant animatronic. No, Steve has to get together to fight, Joe.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean they're cousins, aren't they?
Are they? I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not.
they are canonically.
Not up to date with the Blue's Clues lore.
Okay. I was a big Blue's Clues fan.
Big clue head.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I have a 5-star review here. So we go from 1 star to 5 star, pretty big increase. From Roland Spamalot. Not sure if that's their actual name, but this is for the Emoji Movie. Um, and this says this was very emotional.
Nah,
No,
that one does not get the pass.
okay, it's an attempt though.
Emojin. It is. It does have a lot of emotion in it.
Hmm.
Now that I think about it, emoji it probably comes from the word emotion, huh? Because you have
Hmm.
emoticon, that's emotion. So yeah,
Hmm. I mean, and yeah, I wasn't necessarily like I thought it was decently funny.
yeah.
All right.
Emoji,
Mm-hmm.
G whiz.
Mm-hmm.
So my second review comes for Mean Girls.
Mm.
Mario gives it 1/2 star and says, "Turned 9-year-old me into a misogynist."
Mm.
Now I should point out, a lot of movies they really just awaken what's already dormant in you.
Mm-hmm.
So really, if the film made you a misogynist,
Mm-hmm.
you were just already a misogynist on the
I
planet.
Yeah, I think it just kind of like it flipped the switch inside of you
I
that was
know.
already there.
See, I watched the film backwards, and it turned me very pro women's rights. So
I've never seen the movie. I saw the musical though.
really,
Really.
you skip straight to dessert.
Yeah, that's the kind of person I am.
You didn't get to see all the rich intertextual, subtleties of the
I
film.
didn't know.
It's not bad. It's a very good movie. It's
I'm
very,
sure it is. Yeah, seems entertaining. I'll watch it someday.
yeah.
Um, so my last review, if you can see on the screen, it's large, but I'm only gonna read the first 2 words. Because I don't feel like this is a more serious review, and we don't do this here. It's from Dave Horowitz, sorry. And this is for Fast Five, a movie that has been mentioned in today's episode. And the first 2 words are Brotions 11.
I will allow that one. I
That's
want.
pretty good. I mean, it's true. Like, it accurately describes the movie. But Ocean's 11 is definitely like a bro movie, too.
That's true. That's one's already Broson's 11.
It is. It's like Ocean's 11. I mean, there's guns in Ocean's 11, but it's like Ocean's 11 with guns and cars.
Right. Exactly.
So still Brocean's 11, but Ocean's 11 also a bro movie.
They should make a movie where, they suddenly win the lottery. Should call it Broster's Millions.
That's In the Heights.
Oh, dang.
Spoilers for In the Heights.
Barrioster's Millions.
Yeah, they win the lottery at the end. Anthony Ramos.
Hey, well, now I have no reason to see this movie that I already didn't want to see.
Hmm.
So, last review comes for It's a Wonderful Life.
Hmm.
John Francisco gives it 1/2 star and says, "Imagine having feelings.
What movie was this for?
It's a Wonderful Life."
I've never seen that movie.
I I've
I
seen
know
it.
you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I was in the play, in fact.
Yes.
The radio adaptation of It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
where I played a barfly
Hmm.
and a narrator. I narrated as well.
Yes, you dabble in narration.
Yeah, I do a little bit of narrating.
Hmm. All right, is that everything we have to say for today?
It is.
All right. Then like, subscribe. Be here next week when we We rant about Loki being a show only British people can enjoy. See you later, everyone.